Okay. Everybody hear me okay? Welcome to the front end Columbia Meetup. Thank you for clapping along with me. That would have been really awkward if I was sitting here clapping. This is our first meetup. So if you haven't heard about us before, it's because we haven't existed. So I don't want to pull those guys out of here, but if you don't know where you're at right now, you're in SoCo and the Iron Yard. Specifically, this room is for students learning tech and stuff like that. I think they have a front end class, and they also have a fundamentals class. Peeking a little bit. Hey, could you give just a quick rundown on SoCo?
Yep.
Thank you.
Hey, so SoCo is a co-work. We have 2 locations here and one in the Vista. A co-work is a shared space for creatives, developers, writers, artists, all those things. I and Gene Crawford, Jay Berry, and Greg Hilton are the partners. If you ever want to talk to us about becoming a member, we have rates. We have like daily rates and what we call flex rates, where you can come in and just use any space that you want to, and you can become a full member, so you can have a dedicated space. Gives you access to all of our events and all the things that we do as a community. But the whole idea is that it is a place where all the people who are doing cool stuff can work together and do awesome things together. Is that good?
Yes, thank you.
Boom.
What I could have said.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so I want to announce this. Now we are going to be doing a monthly meetup. I think this is actually more tentative than locked down, but I'm kind of thinking 4th Thursday of each month. Then make it into the 3rd Thursday. I'm not sure. I don't want to necessarily step on anybody's toes. Kind of like tonight, kind of a little bit of a scheduling conflict. So we had 2 in the same night, which kind of makes it a long night. So this was what I was going to tell you about. Heather, which is the director of the Iron Yard, is also part of this start of the weekend. Go to that link there. It's, I think the best way to describe it. It just says attendees will get 50%. It's basically where a whole bunch of different entrepreneurs, developers, engineers, designers get together and build something together in a weekend. It's kind of a great learning experience. That's why you want to sign up for that, because I think we're using that list that I passed around. We're actually going to be using that to send out the 50% coupon code. Okay, so now we're past all that. Who am I? What the heck am I doing here? I'm Ryan Benner. I am a front-end developer. Didn't always used to be. I'm kind of a designer, really, that mutated into an engineer. I mean, not really in a cool way, not like Spider-Man, who's just like, you know, better vision, you know, just like, this clip's lasting a little longer than I thought it would be, but just like, oh yeah, oh, I got muscles now. No, I'm more like some creepy face swap, you know, just slap a designer on an engineered body and just like, what's going on? Okay, so I work for a company called Muscle and Strength. We're local here in Columbia. Wow, I'm saying a lot. I got some advice, don't say So if you hear me say a lot, I'm just going to do it purposeful. There it is. I work for them. They're off of Bluff Road. We took over a FedEx distribution plant. So if that tells you anything about how big we are, we do tons of sales in supplements. So if you take anything like protein powder, stuff like that, like this is the place. We have a gym built in there. It's a private gym, so it's not technically open to the public, but it is. It's a place where we can go and shoot video for people like that guy, Jay Cutler, 4 or 5-time Olympian. This is our team. It's a whole bunch of guys. We have sales, marketing. We have a whole bunch of warehouse associates because we're online retail, so we ship a lot of things. It's a cool opportunity to have these gigantic guys come in, much bigger than me. I mean, his arm is as big as my face, but he's pretty impressive. And then there's me over there doing a monkey pose for what I don't know. Scratching my head. I'm not really sure what I was thinking there. I think I was trying to look swole. Anyways, as last guy was talking about, like doing something for fun. I work on drones and build stuff for fun. I also do planes and RC stuff and like to do cinematography with it, and I have a lot of fun with it. Here's some of the smooth cinematography stuff in my other drone. Just speed it up here. But it's a lot of fun. Speaking of that, hopefully I don't crash into anybody. Oh yeah, the battery has to go down now. This isn't falling on anybody's head. That's good. Yeah, I love that stuff. Okay, so let's talk shop. I got some gifts. I'm sure if anybody saw the questionnaire that I sent out, it's just too many gifts. There's just gifts everywhere. So I'll try to contain myself. I love gifts, but let's talk shop. So so goals. There's more gifts. Anyway, so the goal of this talk is to cover as much stuff as I possibly can so you can learn what you don't know you didn't know. What is that? Okay, here's my chart. The stuff you know you don't know, and the stuff you don't know. My goal is to take some of this chunk and add it to this stuff. So at least you know you don't know. That's like the biggest thing with just tools everywhere. Frameworks, libraries, code, just everywhere. Just tons of things happening. So yeah, that's the goal. It's going to be brief on the stuff that I do cover, it's just going to be basic. Partly because my knowledge is basic. So, anyways, so what are we going to try to cover? Productivity. Going to look over Git. Attempt to describe Git. It's kind of a hard thing for me to describe very well. Design tools, terminal, text editors, dev tools, preprocessing, local servers, static site generators, which are my favorite. I love that right now. It's kind of my outside of work, but not work kind of projects I love to do. So I'm going to be doing some demos. Hopefully nothing happens. Anybody knows Portal? Stuck in a portal loop. It's a bad demo. Okay, so I'm going to jump out and try to show some of this stuff here. There we go. Tabs open. Okay, so for instance, I'm just going to walk through how I normally get something set up for a project. I'm not super smooth on this because I work for Muscle Strength, and it's not like we're a consulting place where I make a whole bunch of websites for a bunch of people. I'm just working on one. So I have a little bit different workflow, and I can kind of show you that too. But just kind of get a taste for just productivity, being able to open a project quickly and just get started working without really anything slowing you down. So if you don't know, command spacebar on a Mac. We'll open up this and then I'll just go to return. And then we'll just go into
soft for some people.
Yeah, it probably is. Let me take you this off. This is Moon, by the way. This little jet.
What was that song?
Moon. That thing. Okay, so now I'm in here, I'm going to go into the records page. And then here, so, you always have to say hello world. First thing you always do, right? Say hello. Sorry, lots of nerdy jokes tonight. Dash O will open up the server. Right away. There we go, hello world. So I just went from creating a folder to making a first item in there. I created a Git repo, and then I started a little local server, and I opened up my text editor, all within the terminal, very quick. It takes, there's a lot more power you can do to that. You can extend that and make whole like little frameworks that you just want to have installed on there, whatever. But I just try to do it as vanilla as possible, just so you kind of, if you've never experienced anything like that, it wouldn't take you too far on the road, what you may have experienced before. But that's kind of the real basic overview of kind of how you start something new. So I'm going to go back into here, just so you guys can kind of get an idea of kind of what I was doing in the terminal here. If you're not familiar with the terminal, I'll kind of show you a couple key commands here. Okay, so one thing I always like to do is have a clean space. So clear, we'll take that, kind of wipe it clean for you. Okay, so say you're in a new place, you don't know where the files are, you don't know what you're looking for. LS will list those files. You can see I've got index in there. But I also told you I created a Git repo in there, which it's got a dot extension to it, or prefix to it, so it's going to be hidden. So in order to see those, I'm going to do ls-a. You can see all those files, and if you just do L, you can see a whole bunch of other stuff. But that's basically listing, and then moving around with CD. It'll take you back to your home directory, a whole bunch of stuff in there. You can type CD again, you can do GitHub. If you hit tab, it gives you like autocorrect up there. You can just keep on typing the structure to get to where you want to go without hitting enter yet. What I mean. Okay, now we're back where that's using CD change directory.
Variable in our investigation of how we can position our
So I also showed you how I created a new file. I was using a program called Vim. It's a very hardcore text editor. It's for, I've seen people work entirely out of Vim. There's a lot of extensions you can do, but there's a lot of setup to get kind of up to speed on there. But it's very useful just to kind of use it for jumping in and out and creating a couple of new files that you need, like starting something, or maybe you just need to edit one line of code somewhere real quick. For instance, like a configuration in your server, Vim is very handy for that. So pretty much Vim, to create a new file, you just start typing a name, whatever, like foo.js, and there you go. You got something. Let's see that file wasn't written. Say you want to open a file, just type in and then the file name, and we're back in. And if you were to edit something, you have to type E, or not E, I, and it'll change to insert mode, and we can start moving around and deleting this up. H1 is too bold, let's go back. H2, and then you hit exit, and then you do the colon, and do W, and it'll rewrite the file, and then hit the colon again, and the Q. I'm going really fast, I understand that. If you're not familiar with this stuff, if you are familiar, you're probably yawning a little bit. So, we'll just keep on moving here. Okay, so a couple of things that I find really helpful, especially since you can't remember all the commands ever. I really love history. Now, at first glance, this is not helpful at all. It's just a gigantically long list, but it's awesome at the same time because every command I've ever made is in history. But okay, how do you find that command we're looking for? So, for instance, if you type history, we can chain commands with a pipe, and we'll move it into something called grep. If you're not familiar with grep, it's basically like, it's a searcher, and you can give it arguments. I'm just going to do a very basic grep command. So basically I'm doing two commands, and they're separated by the pipe. So whatever is coming out of history is then going into grep, and being processed by grep, and then being output onto the terminal screen. So I want to look for all my git commands. So that, and there we go. So I can see, okay, oh yeah, that's right, that's how I read this master, blah, blah, blah. Or that's how I changed into a new branch, or whatever. That was super helpful for me when I was first learning terminal, is just using the history. It's like, oh yeah, that's what he typed. Let me make a note of that. That's it for the command line here that I can show you now. You can do so much stuff with it. So, task management. Let's move on. So, covered project setup, command line, and we're just going to talk kind of like my workflow at work. So every morning, I come in, go into the terminal, and actually have a thing called Go. It's pretty awesome. I just hit tab, and it takes me to my current project directory, and I can just go through there. So we have a content side and a store side. The store side's on Magento, and the content side's on Drupal. So say I want to open up Drupal, I go into there, and actually our main editor for these is actually PHP Storm. So just start PHP Storm, and then we'll need to spin up our server. Vagrant's like the do-all kind of tool because not only can you build servers with it, but you can also commit that to Git because it starts as a code file. So all your settings for your server can be committed and then passed around to every single person that needs to use that server. They can spin it up locally and it's going to operate exactly the way you were expecting it to. That's another power. That's part of the power of Git right there. At utilizing tools that allow you to commit all your settings is pretty powerful. So here's this beast of it. It's not technically a text editor. It's what's referred to as an IDE. So it's not in the same family as that. I'll get to that. I'm really jumping ahead of myself here. We'll stay on top as I'm trying. So now that that's up, I can go to sure. And sure, everything works in the background. Anyways, let's move on. That normally always works. Of course it has to fail now. Okay. Because that is our production environment. That's or my local working environment. Just spin it up every single day. So for it to not be working is very odd. Let's keep moving along. So, one of my favorite extensions inside of, on the Mac, I'm sorry if you have a PC, I didn't get a chance to really do a lot of diversity with that, but Noom allows you to arrange windows. You can do it with key commands and all sorts of stuff like that. You can adjust them with commands and you can have custom layouts of all your windows. So say you move to 2 monitors and you've got a certain amount of windows up, it will rearrange all those windows to exactly the way you like them once you plug into that 2-monitor setup. So it's pretty awesome. I love them. It does cost, but the amount of times it saves you on kind of hitting everything in a place you can get to is invaluable in Microsoft. So. And then Emmet is a way for text editor to take advantage of a whole bunch of things. So I'm in Sublime here. So let's say I need to start a new Chanel doc. I just type doc and hit tab, and it auto-completed everything I needed. So H1. Each one with the class header, tab that, and it auto completes all the brackets. Just like that. There's more complicated things you can do with that, like say you build a list. Okay, so you got a list, and inside that list, you want to make a couple list items. Let's make 20 of them because we can. Boom. Okay, not complicated enough for you? Okay, let's put a tag in each one. Okay, cool. And while we're inside that, you can just tab around and just keep tabbing and fill in each and every single item, whatever you need. That's a lot of manual input. Normally, you probably grab from a database and move through this, but say you just wanted to make a nice list. There's an endless amount of things you can do with them. we doing so far? Good? Is it good stuff? Yay? Yeah. Just don't want you guys to fall asleep on me here.
So, Emmett was a plugin for Savant, or?
Emmett is, let me go to a link, just so you can kind of, Emmett has a ton of links for type stuff. Emmett.io, this link you need. Oh, nice little demo. That. So you can download it for all the editors. It supports Sublime Text, Atom, Coda, TextMate, anything you can think of, even Adobe Reader. Also PHP Storm, Vim. It's an amazing utility to use, especially if you're trying to just type quickly and you have slow fingers. Yeah, feel free to ask a question. I want to make sure you guys are able to get as much out of this talk as possible. So if there's something that I said that was just like, what? Just raise your hand, I guess, and I'll try to help. We will have some time afterwards as well to talk about questions here. Okay, so let's go through Git. I already kind of showed you an initial setup of Git with a couple, and I made a first commit on there. I'm going to try to explain a little bit about the structure of Git so you kind of understand a little bit. This link down here is a great blog article on kind of GitHub fundamentals. That's an aside. GitHub is just a tool that you can use with Git to make it easier to use. But I'm just going to try to go through some of these concepts here: branches, commits, local and remote, pushing and pulling, and rebasing. So I stole all these from his articles, so the article's really good. So if I don't do a good job explaining it, just read the article afterwards. So when you make your first initial commit, you have this master branch here. They call everything branches, so it's like trees, very green. We're so say everyone's working on master and it's working great. Okay, let's add a new feature. So you would branch off of there, you'd make your feature changes, and then we'll get to it, and you can move back into it. So on that branch, as you're doing it, you make commits, and it's just like little timelines, basically, like a little snapshot of your history there, and you leave a little message of what you changed. And then you have local and remote. This is where it gets really helpful for collaboration, because you can have your main master out somewhere in the cloud. You can pull it down to your local machine, and you still have master, and then you have your branch over here. And then, okay, when it's time, at the end of the day, you have everything done on your branch here that you could do to save it, so it's not just stuck on your machine, and it's nice and safe up in the cloud. You push it up to the remote repository. And then you can say, okay, my feature branch is done, so you submit a pull request, and whoever is monitoring that, you should have someone other than yourself pull that in. If not, then just check yourself. Did someone before you wreck yourself? Yeah. It's good. Louder next time. So push it up back into there, and then you submit a pull request, and it gets merged back into the master branch. And then the step can go all over again. You can you can pull back any other changes that have been made in the master back into your local master, and it's just a way of keeping everything succinct. Everybody can be working on several different branches or the same branch, and you can rebase all your changes together, which I guess I didn't cover rebasing, but basically someone's made a couple commits on this branch and someone else, another local, made some commits on theirs. They, you pushed up your changes up here. They try to push up their changes like, no, you can't. They've already, this branch is more current than your own, so you rebase. And basically what happens is it takes all those commits that you currently have, takes them out, puts all of their changes here, and then replace your changes back on top of that. And that's a rebase. And that's kind of, hopefully that made sense. There's a lot of great tools for Git. There's GitHub, there's Tower. There's a new one I found called Fork, which is pretty sweet. Let me just kind of open up. I don't have Tower installed, but I have GitHub and Fork. And it kind of gives you like a view of so this is a so for instance, you can see what you changed each time with each one of these commits. It tells you what you deleted and what you added. And if you were to have different branches, you could actually see that there. So there's like a branch. And kind of, the GUI interfaces are nice because it kind of gives you a little bit more of a just an overhead view of everything. You can make your commits right in here. You can do all those sorts of other Git tasks. Let me pull up Fork because it's actually linked up to our production environment, so you can kind of see a lot more going on.
I have a question.
Yes.
Would you suggest to people who are just learning how to use Git to do this, like the visual GUI sort of thing first before learning the command line?
I feel like you could definitely feel a lot more comfortable in a GUI, but if you ever went back to try to do anything that's more like either the GUI didn't support or like you didn't have access or whatever to the GUI, I would recommend you grit your teeth, learn the command lines. It'll take a little bit of time, but history will help. If you can't remember specific commands that have to research online every time for every single little thing. Learn it that way. Get a good workflow, even if they're just simple commands. I still kind of default to some GUI things when I'm doing things like merge conflicts when someone's change is different than your own, and you have to kind of figure out, okay, whose piece of code goes in where. That's where it gets more complicated, and GUI is really helpful for that. You can still do all that stuff in the code base, but yes, to answer your question, I would recommend you learn the commands first, and then you can truly appreciate all the awesomeness of a GUI and understand what it's actually doing behind the scenes. I would recommend that for any code language, like JavaScript. Learn JavaScript and you can understand everything else. So we've been setting up on our branches. We actually have a naming convention where we have like feature. Let's do this side. You have like a feature and then what we're working on and then the individual thing. And these are all the individual branches, and Fork actually is pretty sweet where it shows, it actually separates it out into folders so I can see all of our feature branches here, anything that we had to quickly fix and all those changes within there. So I just discovered Fork. It's actually in beta right now, so it's still free. So that's really cool. That. Okay, design tools. So, does anyone know what CodePen is? Couple hands. Does anyone know why I would put it in a design tool? No? Yeah, why?
You can share it on Stack Overflow and other stuff easier, and you can just set stuff together.
Exactly. So one thing that I've learned a lot is if you're not quite sure how to design something, sometimes it's because you need to design it with code. And CodePen is by far the easiest way to just get the ball rolling. And it's actually part of my general workflow. I'll actually take a design concept, say in Illustrator, I mainly just do stuff in Illustrator, but I love Sketch too, because Sketch is super fast. Sketch is like the uber fast version of Adobe Illustrator. But if you already have the whole master suite, it's kind of hard to justify using Sketch. But anyways, that's my reasons. But anyways, so I'll take everything in Adobe Illustrator, I'll design it up, and make it look all nice. Anything I'm not too sure about, I'll do a quick CodePen mock-up of it. It's just super basic. It can have some cat pictures in there, some more bits, some garbled text. It doesn't matter. I just need to make sure that I can get that div to restructure itself all the way down and it still look good. That's a valuable tool. I go out of CodePen. I'll actually do a full prototype of the page that we're going to be building in CodePen, and I'll take all of those static resources and then move it into Drupal or Magento. That cuts out a lot of different things. Not to mention, it's super easy to share because when I'm working locally, I'd have to either push it up to a staging environment for my boss to see, or I could just use CodePen and just share the link. It makes things really simple. We're a really small team. It's just me, my boss, and we have a junior dev over in India. So,
I have a question about that.
yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed when I use CodePen for stuff like that is like, I feel limited by the editors because I feel like I'm working on a really small screen. Are there any tips you have? Because if you try to have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript open at the same time,
Yeah.
right, you have these tiny little containers. It's not like working out actually IDE.
No, yeah, that's, I guess I could say I've gotten used to it because, like, okay, let me just show you. I'm actually going to show you this.
Because I know they use like Ace Editor and stuff, so you have like you have like real key bindings and stuff. You have
Yep,
multi
you have
selects.
edit in there, it's baked in. So I do have a paid account, so, of course it's not logged in. Okay, there's the line. Let's go to. What did I miss? Your 404 page. We lost it. That's great.
I'll probably want to get there on purpose just so you can.
Let's see. So, for instance, I've actually got a really good example of a mock-up thing. So, we're working on a new banner image for. And I wanted to make sure that it was working the way that I wanted it to, all the way down. Now, I do have I guess to answer your question is I work on a really big environment. And so what I'll do sometimes is I'll actually go all the way over with this window and I will open up a live view mode, move it over to another screen completely, and just work from there, and it'll refresh the actual screen.
Oh, so it's actually, so if you save the CodePen, you can.
Well, it'll just, as you're making changes, like for instance.
Is that a paid feature or is it?
No, that's built in. I don't know that for sure, but I'm pretty sure Live View is built in to CodePen. So what I'll do is kind of set it up like this. You can have your nice big view of whatever you want, plus what you're working on there. Normally I'll have two screens set up, and then I'll just change the background color. Like that, and it just updates. It's kind of like working as fast as if you ever worked in like a CSS reload or whatever like that. That's kind of how I tackle some of that. There are definitely some limits to coding in CodePen. It's not very it can get really heavy, especially if you're doing a really big page, which some of our stuff is. It's got a lot of products and stuff like that. But I've learned little tricks to kind of get around some of that.
Looks like the live view is a big feature.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. tool. There's a lot more things you can do, for instance, collaboration and a whole bunch of other features that are in the paid version. Like, for instance, when you're inside like a post and you want to see, I think this is a paid version, paid feature. Oh, no. My cats. So down here, there's like a share. I'm not sure, I'm pretty sure this is a paid feature, but I can actually text it to myself. So I can text it right to my phone and pull up on my phone and view it there. And it'll be in live mode already, so you can text it and then share it to all your screens, have your whole screen farm in front of you, your iPads and your phones and your Android phones, and then update something and it'll, poof, update them all. So it's all already built in, it's pretty convenient. If you're just doing some really simple design in the browser. Here's the end look of that project. And this whole section up here is actually added in from another feature, assets. So I've got like a bunch of CSS stuff. I've got all my images can be hosted on there, phone families and stuff like that. What I'll actually do for stuff like this header part is actually have a little JavaScript collection here. And just basically here it appends the page with my header, and it grabs the header HTML text and puts it all in there and formats it. And so I don't have to type that in the page each time. I have a little template, it builds a template, and then I start working. So there's a lot of automation you can do even inside CodePen for automating those kinds of things. For instance, under new pen, I can go here and I can go right to my multi-column page template and start working on a new design feature within there. I've got my nice little menu bar up there to kind of give context so that when I show it to the boss, it's like, oh, what? I need to see it with the menu. I need to see it with everything together. It's like, there you go. Okay, so and as far as Illustrator, let's go here. Okay, yeah, so inside of here, I pretty much do a full design workout for a section, and then also do a mobile version of it. And this, I mean, you got to be very aware, and you kind of have to train whoever you're working with, because there's all the sizes in between if you're doing a fully responsive website. There's all the sizes in between that are going to do weird things to the design. So that's important to think about. And sometimes I'll do tablet sizes as well. Let's see if I can find them. Here's a really good example. We just relaunched a product page design, and so it should have a ton of information. Oh no, that's not what I thought it was. Art demo's fun. Let's try ambiguously named layout. Trying some new naming conventions for this. There it is. Okay. So as you can see, I've got a couple different iterations. And I like working in Illustrator because it's kind of like a mood board all at the same time. I can kind of take pieces out and chunk them around, play with it, go from here to there, really lay stuff out, move it into a couple different things. I've got like trying out little tag pieces over here. It's real playful as far as I'm concerned with Illustrator, because they don't restrict you for what you can do. You can just keep on building. There's a huge amount of space that they allow you to build on, and it just kind of lives there as a chunk. And I can do iterations of things as well. For instance, like, okay, so I'll just do a practical example. So over here, it's my favorite tool, the artboard tool. Draw an artboard here. Yeah. What about this? Okay, yeah, just kind of position that, that's good. So like a little top banner bar up here, something like that. Oh, what is it? It's a black color. Let's change that to green. I guess. Okay, great. Yeah, that's a good picture. Yes. And then, okay, so once I'm in there, I go back on the layer panel. It's like, okay, that was pretty good. That's a good place to start. I don't know if any of you've been in design school where they have, okay, you're going to take and make like 10 or 20 thumbnails and just keep on making a different design for each one. This is the same concept I use for when I design stuff. I just go ahead and copy the whole thing and I make a few changes. So I don't like that black, it's too dark. Let's go for a nice light headline. And I forgot to put some hamburger menu clicker in there. And let's do some fun stuff here. Okay, cool. That's better. A little better. We're getting somewhere. It's a little bit more understandable when we're on a web page, stuff like that. That's how I use Illustrator. I take anything like that, go in a code pen and so forth and so on, etc. Let's see, where am I at? I think I'm running out of time here. 8:10. I want to leave plenty of time for you guys to ask questions, but I also want to get to some of these other really cool things. So I'm going to try to fly through some of this. Okay, so Terminal, I kind of showed you this already. I'm just going to open up the two programs. I've been bothered on this slideshow. I use Terminal a lot. Now, Terminal, or iTerm, is a flavor of the Terminal program. So let me just pull up the actual Terminal program in Mac. And you can kind of see the difference here. It's pretty basic. So, things I love about iTerm is I can actually make new sections of windows, a whole bunch of stuff like that. This, like, fun stuff here where it actually shows, like, where I'm at, what version of my Git branch I'm at. Let me zoom up quicker. So it's actually showing me some information about, like, this stuff. This is a whole nother level of stuff. It's called ZSH, and then a plugin on top of that, all my ZSH, which is a topic for a one other time. I can't really get it. If you want to know more about customizing internally, I can help you with that. Just come up to me and I'll show you some stuff on that. And then I found this one probably 6 months ago. Maybe not 5, 6 months. This is actually a JavaScript-based editor. So this actually is great if you are a Windows user because this is multi-platform. It's called Hyperterm. And that's pretty cool that they're actually coming up with more different ways to interact with the code interface. Now, I really didn't like using the terminal at all. I mean, I come with a complete visual background designing all the GUI stuff, full-on Dreamweaver, all that good stuff. So it does take a lot of practice, but once you're comfortable with it, it's very fast. You can get around and get stuff done. Okay, text editors. My favorite, Sublime Text. The one I actually use for work is PHP Storm because it's an integrated development environment, or IDE, which, in layman's terms, it connects and understands all your code. So I can click on a variable and I can know what's populating that variable and follow it all the way up into the code base and be like, okay, yeah, that's my problem. that's where an IDE comes in handy. Whereas just a standard text editor is just gonna be like, hey, here's your text. Let's do some autocomplete, fun stuff like that. Let's open it up in 2 seconds. Whereas PHP Storm takes like way too long. I can boot up a server by the time PHP Storm's over. I showed you a little bit of Vim. I won't go too much more into that. I do have Sublime Text in here. So there's a ton of add-ons you can do, but the basic command that you want to know for when installing Sublime Text for yourself is Command-Shift-P. That gives you everything in Sublime Text. So it's another kind of coding interface with it. It doesn't have a full GUI. Everything is text-based. So say I want to turn word wrapping on, I can just type in the command and it'll do it there. So just Control-Shift-P everything inside of Sublime Text. There's a lot more to Sublime Text than that. I just love the purity of the text editor because you don't have to really do a whole lot to it out of the box for it to be really nice. Atom is similar to Sublime Text. It's got some other nice features. I don't really use it, so I can't tell you too much about it, but I know the top ones. Now they are. I'm sure there's probably actually more. Okay, so this is super important. I use this all the time, DevTools. It's this little thing inside of Chrome, because I use Chrome a lot. But it's also inside of Firefox, inside your Internet Explorer, inside any of the browsers you would use. And this is the best way to just figure out what's going on with your codes and manipulate it. So just close this whole gigantic scariness of tabs here. Reduce the strain on my computer. I think I like tabs too much. Just a little bit. Okay, so for instance, let's go to this little.
Is that the drone that flew by earlier?
Yeah, I made a little. In other words, it's called the tiny whoop, and you can actually attach a camera to the top of it and fly it with little goggles on, which I've done before. I don't have all of it. Anyways, let me change into debug mode, which is one of my favorite modes inside of click it, and we'll just go ahead and inspect this here. So this little tool here, you can go around here and look at all the different elements. You can adjust things right in line here. Is this big enough for you guys? Okay, that's that maybe. You can see them. There we go. That's better. Not for you, probably for you. Okay. So we're gonna have let's do some just basic text color here. So you can come down here and mess with color. Green. Actually see that. So let's take on our fonts focus. There it goes. Okay. Bring that up there. There we go. Just all with this up there. You can kind of play. And I use this in conjunction with coding to kind of do design. I do a lot of design just right inside DevTools, especially if I'm considering a new feature for a website. I'll actually open up DevTools and I'll just do a quick little code, bit of manipulation with CSS and figure out, is this even possible, or how long do I think this is going to take me? If I can't do it with a couple lines of CSS, I know it's going to take me a while. I'm going to have to restructure some things. So that's kind of a good way for estimates as well when you're trying to figure things out. There's a whole bunch more tabs here. Some really cool things you can do. That I actually didn't know about this one for the longest time, and it's super helpful, especially when you're dealing with data. So if you're over here on the console, I'm just going to show you one thing here. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do with the console here. I'm going to show you one of my favorite tips here. So anything that is selected here, anything you select, is actually given a property. So right now I have this top thing here selected, and if I go and make a jQuery, if I could think of how jQuery is typed. Thank you. Okay, and we'll select $0. And we'll just change. Let's put our value in there. And jQuery is not defined. Wrong. Hey. Okay. Yes. That's basically. Let me just see. Let me just pull up this object here. Yeah. Okay. So I mean, just simply querying the object by itself, you can do some things without even using jQuery. Let's try to use jQuery. So. Hopefully this works the way I wish it would too. No,
So that's just a shortcut to get the currently.
get to
selected.
whatever
So
selected.
it's not actually jQuery. You
It's,
have to,
it's built into the browser for Chrome. It's super handy for a lot of things, and I'm just completely drawing.
say value equals hey.
Yes, that's what I did, because I'm mixing up my jQuery with the JavaScript. That's why you should learn JavaScript first, but not jQuery first. There we go. So now you can see inside here, it has hey, and you can see we all make mistakes. But we're all here to help each other out as well. So, okay, we'll keep on moving along. So 20. So, pre-processing, grunt and gulp. Trying to think of a quick way to demo this.
We can always say that for another.
Yeah, I think basically go to, check out this link here. Basically, if you're familiar with CSS or JavaScript or any of those things, there's actually pre-processed languages on top of that. If you don't know what that is, then it's good. Doesn't make sense. Basically, this is a task runner. Grunt and Gulp is a task runner. And you can tell it to do everything from building a project to downloading modules for your project to a whole bunch of different stuff. It's a very useful tool for development. Let's talk more about some of this other stuff here. Node.js, and WAM, Anvil, Vagrant, and VMware Fusion. So a couple different servers you can use. You saw me use the Node.js flavor server. Those are pretty simple to set up and get running per se. So that's a node server. So like you could just there it is. So it's basically Node.js is just you can have a whole bunch of different stuff. You can install it and you can run it. Trying to it's very difficult to explain. If we had a little bit more time, I could actually demo this and much better at demo than trying to explain it. So apologize for that. Let me go. So MAMP or WAMP. These are tools you can download. it's a whole condensed things as an abbreviation, so Apache, MySQL, PHP for Mac and Linux now, actually. The just found this one not too long ago. It's called Anvil. And this one's really nice and clean and basic. Basically, all it does is just opens up a little bit in your tray, which actually I can't see from here.
What's your number one recommendation on the server?
Server, we use Vagrant. It's really awesome because it's completely mirrors what you have on production. But if you're looking to just build some stuff and you're working with HTML, JavaScript, you don't have to work with any PHP or anything like that. I would say the Node.js server is like awesome because we do a ton of that. Those are a couple of different options. Would like to get into that, but I don't want to keep you guys here forever. Plus, I want to give you an opportunity to ask some questions where you can actually get some real answers. So, code generators. If you go to this link right here, this may look like it's got a database running behind it, but it doesn't. It's actually using things like Grunt to compile a website, and then you push it up to, this is actually posted free on GitHub. They have a whole thing on Jekyll, which is really nice. It's that same demo I showed you in CodePen, living as a kind of halfway working portfolio site for me. Still kind of working on it. But let me spin up. There's definitely something wrong with the system, so that's cool. That just happened today. And after I'd already tested all this stuff. Basically, you can type a command in there and it'll build a little environment for you. So that's what I was attempting to do. Jekyll knew my husband's site, and then you can CD into it, and you can, it'll even spin up a little server for you, and it also plays well with GitHub, just giving you some free hosting and stuff. It seems like a lot of code. But as you can see from the example there, it's pretty awesome because it doesn't require any database whatsoever. So the site's completely secure, it's locked down, nothing can get to it because it's just static sites. You generate all the files on your local system and then you put them up on the server, so everything's done locally. Makes sites very fast. And it's just, from dealing with databases all day, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air to work and build a site in something that doesn't have a database. Everything's all text. You can see everything, you can touch everything. Let me show you what it actually looks like inside one. Inside here, there's a whole bunch of different stuff here, and it seems pretty daunting, but all in all, Jekyll is really cool because it's just text, it's just code. But then you can add in these little things like this. And this is actually a loop that is doing over this job property here. And all the data for that is just in a folder. But you see, this is another file, this is another file, this is another file. Same with my posts, got a couple different posts here. Here's my data here. We got a YAML formatted data structure here. And so all the jobs here, all this stuff listed, is just in a list in something like, if you're familiar with maybe JSON, which YAML says it's not like JSON. It's in your documentations. It's kind of funny.
Can you have comments in a YAML file?
I don't know, I haven't worked with YAML enough. I'm still kind of dipping my toe in, with static sites and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think so. It's like really.
This is per phone on this thing. But yeah, it gives you a lot of options to do stuff like that. It's just, if you've never worked with a static site generator, just for a little bit, I would just encourage you to just one afternoon, just take a second and check out Jekyll or some of the other things out there and just see how it feels, because for me personally, as a web developer, it takes a lot of time to set up stuff, especially back-end stuff. I don't want to have to maintain all of that server infrastructure. If I can build a site that has those kind of functionalities, it's all just code that I just compile once, that's a huge headache off me. I can post it up. I don't have to worry about updating it. It's like WordPress sites, stuff like that. It's a kind of a lot of maintenance. The more stuff you add to your development tree. That is pretty much my talk. Hopefully it wasn't too loose for you guys. This is literally my first talk I've ever given. So if you thought it was halfway good, then yay. Awesome. If you thought it was horrible, I'll improve next time. I took everything that I tried to format this talk by the great guys at Sparkbox. If you don't know who they are, they're thought leaders in the industry. Go to that link there. It has a billion links that go over all of the tools I just showed. Like, all the tools are on there. So that's an important link. If you want to learn more, because I think that's the best tool there is just learning to learn. Free Code Camp is really awesome. Even if you think you know all this stuff, just go through the course anyways. There's a lot of stuff on there that maybe you didn't know, or it's nice to have a little certificate. So, for instance, myself, I'm all self-taught. So going through Free Code Camp and having a little certificate for front end is just like legitimizing what I already know. So it's good. Plus, when I zoom through the course, it feels really good. The front end handbook. If you're curious about what a front end developer is, this makes me very depressed because there's a lot of stuff out there I don't know. And I think you'll find that with anybody in this industry, they know a pocket of it. And like I said before, with this wonderful pie chart, it's just stuff you don't know. Until you move it into that section, the stuff you don't know, you can actually start learning. So the more you do that, the better off you'll be. And everyone has a giant section here of the stuff they don't know that they don't even know.
Are your slides going to be available?
I'm going to post them on, I didn't get a chance to upload them yet or figure out how I wanted to do that, but I'll put them on meetup.com for this presentation. Also, I've been recording it. If the video looks any decent, I'll actually upload that somewhere as well. So also, Shop Talk Show is another example of just learning more stuff. That's actually a podcast. If you don't know who Chris Coyer is, he's also a guy who runs CSS Tricks, which is a really good resource for learning CSS. I only included 3 links because there's a ton of stuff out there, And if you want to know something specific, just ask me and I'll try to help you as best I can. I think that'll probably be the best use you can kind of dial in, because there's so much stuff. If I just gave you a giant list of links, that, you look at a couple of them, or you look at all of them and forget half of them. So those are some really good links that you can kind of dabble into a couple of different things. So hope you guys liked it.